So, guys, to quote the legendary Walter White, say my name.
Spanky.
No, Brandon. You are wrong. It is Lord Spanky to you.
Lord Spanky.
You're goddamn right. Yes, I became a lord over the weekend. I was bored.
So casual.
Yeah, that was the thing that happened. So, yeah, my name is now Lord Chris. So, or Lord Spanky. Lord Spanky, I prefer, to be honest. It sounds more genuine, I guess. Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Lord Spanky. I'm Lord Chris now. You don't have to call me Lord if you want, but I will be taxing you. So, look forward to that.
So,
anyway,
where are you a lord of?
So, I have a massive square foot in Scotland, and so does my mate, because I made him a lord.
Square foot.
It's a square foot. But what do you expect for 20 quid? It's surprisingly cheap to become a lord.
Oh my god.
Hang on a minute, I own a house and I own the square plot of land my house is on. How come I'm not a lord?
Because you're not cool. I don't know.
You probably own the building, but you don't own the land it's on.
But surely I do.
I don't think so.
God damn it, I want to be a lord.
Anyway, I've got a certificate. I've got a certificate that says so. So
do you want to explain to people how exactly you became a lord, like what process you went through?
No, that'll be telling. Then everyone will become a lord and I won't be special anymore.
That'll be revealing his secret. And a lord never reveals his secret.
Wow.
Like you'd be playing like Age of Empires in Scotland on your square foot of land and declaring war on people who also have a square foot of land.
I could. And as I was saying to Brandon before we started the stream, I also made my oldest and best friend a lord as well, without telling him. I'll just say, oh, you're a lord now, by the way. That was no surprise. And he's got the square foot of land next to me, so I'm considering invading and doubling my value. I don't know if that'll be actually an act of war or a proper part of invasion. I suppose it would be, like legally and yeah. I don't know. I haven't thought about it too much.
If you declare war on your friend, I'll put sanctions on you.
I won't.
You will no longer get my Prime subs.
No. Or maybe I'll just do it in secret without telling anyone. It'll be under the radar. Now's a good time to do it since the whole new Prime Minister thing has happened. That's all the news coverage. No one will notice me doing that. No, I'll be too distracted. It's perfect.
So if Scotland declared independence, what's your plot of land going to be?
I'm going to declare my own independence.
You're no longer part of the UK. You're your own entity.
Well, we're no longer part of Europe, so I've got nothing else to lose, really. I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what I'm not a lord of. I'm not a lord of bloody Wales yet.
Oh, God, don't get me started.
Do you want to tell them about Snowdon?
That was really good.
It was really, really good. We're probably going to butcher the pronunciation of this, but we used the ride-through.
Yes.
Yeah, because like a double D, which pronounces a TH. And it was a very, very scenic route, wasn't it, Dan?
Oh, it was absolutely gorgeous.
Very, very beautiful.
My workmate, because he's Welsh, he recommended us to do this route, and as soon as I got in on Tuesday, I was like, fantastic route. Thanks for the recommendation. No, there were moments where we were basically just on a ledge, just looking out across Snowdonia National Park, and it was absolutely breathtaking.
It was great. Like we said, it was a really good route because you had like a real proper mix of terrains we were going over. Like you'd have a mix of just general gravel. You'd have bits where it's like grassland. You'd have bits which is like steep, sharp stones, steep gorges, really narrow passes. Then it goes back to flat open. A really, really nice mix. And it was funny because along the way, you just keep seeing like these sheep droppings. And every time we just see him, we'd be like, it's the forbidden Nesquik.
No, you and our mate, that's what you two were saying. I was just like, whatever, let's just keep walking. But it was...
Yeah, we were just memeing the whole way up. And it obviously, because as a Brit, we sort of expect Wales to sort of be wet, not very warm. So obviously the weather was sort of decent that day. So we obviously went out our way, we bought sun cream and we were ready to go out. Did we put it on? Did we fuck? Did we get sunburnt? Hell yes, we did.
You more than anyone.
I was so red.
My face was a bit red, but I was all right.
It's mainly the back of your neck.
You were like, let's turn tomato.
I literally changed race halfway up Snowdon. We got to the top. When we got to the top, that's when I sort of noticed how red I was. And the amount of sweat we were generating, holy crap. But anytime we stopped and took our bags off to get like a drink of water, we were just like, when we tried to put our bags back on, because you just feel like like just the sweat on your back. It was horrible.
I did the best thing and wear my Wolf Run t-shirt because because of the way the material it's made, it just soaked up some of the sweat and was so much more comfortable to wear doing all that hiking than just a normal t-shirt.
Yeah, whereas I had like a white PlayStation shirt, which by the end of it was yellow. It was disgusting.
Yes, it was. I think that there's like the pictures and you can see the yellow stain on it. It's like, oh, these are great, but it's a good thing that it's not a close up of the stain and you have your bag there to cover it as well.
Yeah, it was gross. Like even your hat was changing color, like around the brim, wasn't it?
I need to clean it, but yeah, it's.
And Priyash, he was going like dark blue because he was wearing like a blue shirt. I was so thankful I changed to shorts because there was no way I was going to survive going up there in trousers.
Like I said,
holy
my
hell!
combats were perfect. Literally, what I wore doing Snowdon will literally be what I wear next week when I do Ben Nevis, so I'll be fine.
Ben Nevis, now you're talking. That's smiling.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'll be doing the last UK free peak next week.
Yeah, you won't need sun cream for there, I can tell you.
Well, we'll see what happens. You never know. It might be a lovely day.
If anything, you might need defogger. That's about it.
Yeah. But no, it was a good weekend. Yeah,
it was very good. Like everything was great.
Yeah, the weather I kept about to say Friday. On the Saturday was amazing. We were at Port Merion, and some of the pictures we took, you'd be like, oh, so did you edit that picture? It's like, no, I literally just took this picture as is on my phone. It's like, it was literally incredible.
Yeah, because we did like one of the forest routes over there. We saw this ghost cemetery, or this ghost tree for area. That was like nothing there, so that was quite annoying. And then there was like the dog cemetery, which I thought was kind of like sweet and sort of harrowing at the same time. Like the fact that you got all these like burials and tributes to like pet dogs and stuff. Then the amount of dead jellyfish on the. Oh god, that was one thing. Because obviously in the UK, that we've had like a searing heat wave like the past like couple of months, and just all like the lakes in Wales were just so down, weren't they, Dan? Like ridiculous.
The lakes were down. Were you telling them jokes?
No, not those sorts of down. As in, like the water levels were just. You could literally like. There's one place like, after we did Snowdon, we were going to go to. Was it? No, it must have been on the Sunday after Snowdon. We was going to go get some seafood by like a lake, and there was just barely any water there. It just all turned like most of it just turned to sand.
No, that was the sea. It wasn't a lake.
Oh, that was the sea.
That was the sea.
Okay, in which case that would have been the tide then.
Yeah.
Which was because we saw one place. It was just like all the boats were just sort of stranded.
No, that was at the same place, but that was the sea.
I mean, what was the where we went to the smallest bar in Wales?
Oh, that was Carnarvon.
Carnarvon, yeah, because I know that was right next to the sea, but it's just like all those boats.
Yeah.
Even like the lakes, like around the mountains, you just saw nothing there, and you're just like, wow.
Yeah, there's one had been drained massively on the way to Port Merion, which was ridiculous. Like you and I, we just kept looking at it, just like, oh my gosh, you can see where it was meant to be, and just how much it had like shrunk. It was ridiculous.
So you had sandy seas. That reminds me of the sand seas from Skyward Sword, which has a pirate ship in it.
Hint, hint, nod, nod.
Hint,
What is this episode about? Well,
no, not Wells. Pirates. Yeah.
welcome to Victory Achieved podcast, a video game podcast. This is episode 35. I'm Pirate Dan, and with Pirate Chris and Pirate Brandon.
And Bootleg Brandon.
All right,
Captain Chris.
We're here
and
to
Chris
talk about
and
pirates because the day this episode is coming out is Talk Like a Pirate Day. So I'm Matey.
Yeah.
Yar.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
I say when you guys said yar, it just sounded like that guy who goes yarp.
That's exactly what I'm thinking of.
Not Shaun the Dead, Hot Fuzz.
Yarp.
Funny enough,
Yard.
my workmate, one of my workmates, his uncle is in Hot Fuzz.
Really?
Yeah, he gets killed in the film. He's the drunk guy at the start of the film that they take back. When he's like pissing on the car and he's like, you remember that bit? And
Yeah.
they take him back. You remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's my workmate's uncle.
Oh, cool.
He's also the gold dragon in The Witcher, and he's going to
Oh.
be in Andor, the new Star Wars TV show.
Suppose your friend's uncle would happen to need a podcast in any upcoming shows, would they?
I don't know how close. Well, I know he's close, but I don't know how often he sees him. But that's a weird.
Let's insinuate nicely.
Yeah, but I guess while we're on we're talking about pirates today. So, what's our favourite pirate games? Let's just get right into the nitty gritty, I guess.
You two best go first, because once I start, I won't stop. It's basically going to be a chunk of the episode for me.
So, Wind Waker, I guess. It technically is a pirate game, I guess.
Yeah, I take it as a pirate game.
Princess Zelda's a pirate in it, isn't she?
Yeah, Tetra. No,
That's the one.
I like all the pirate stuff in Wind Waker. It's just there's like a weird endearing feel to it all. Like when you're trying to do like the obstacle course, trying to get the well, I can't remember what you get, the map, or I literally can't remember what you're trying to get now.
Pieces, you Triforce pieces as well.
No, it's not. It's like when you first go on the pirate ship, you're trying to get which item. Oh, it's the sports bag. Yeah, you're trying to get the sports bag, and you're just trying to do all of that. When I first played it, it took me ages, but now it's just like boom, 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 done in one go. And then it, because when you do it, I forgot what his name is, but he's just like, you've already done it, and it's when you're that good, you're like, yep, this reaction feels actually genuine. Instead of just falling off about 50 times because you're shit.
Is you shit?
I was at one point. But I like all the pirate stuff in Wind Waker. It's just really cool. The pirate ship's like... I wish you could like go on the pirate ship again later in the game. But sadly, you... Like, I know you go on it twice, but even after all the stuff with the Forsaken Fortress, it'd be cool if you could go on it again, but... No.
By extension, because it's like the same timeline, have you played the Phantom Hourglass?
I have played the Phantom Hourglass. I actually didn't mind it. I know I'm not going to say it's like top tier Zelda. No, definitely not. But it's not that bad. I remember really struggling on the last boss originally, and then when did I fully complete it? It was a fairly recent. I say recent, like last 5 years. I replayed it and managed to actually beat it, and I was like, I must have just had a dodgy DS, because that's probably why I couldn't beat this boss. And I think that was literally why, because I did it on my 3DS. Like, there was no fucking problem. So, but I like Phantom Hourglass. Like, it's got a different feel with like the pirates, because you have like you're on Linebeck ship instead of King of the Red Lions and stuff. But no, I think it's a nice Zelda game, like mid to lower tier Zelda.
Yeah. The thing is, I give it a bit of flack for. So I do enjoy the game, but it's heavily of its time. It's basically a showcase of like the DS's like capabilities, because you need to progress in the game. You need to use the microphone. And it's all touchscreen. But there's one part in particular which I found really annoying. So there's one certain puzzle in the game, and you have to copy a map, and how you do it is you have to close like the DS.
Oh yeah.
And then open it again. Now the problem with that is it's a nice puzzle, but I couldn't work it out in game. I had to look up how the hell you do it. It's like, you basically just like close the finger. It's like, oh, well, I wouldn't afford to do that. As I imagine lots of people didn't think to do that. But if you've got your power settings set on the DS so like it turns off or goes into sleep mode when you close it, then it's going to knacker it. You're just going to shut down your game immediately. And as an added flight ointment, I want to replay that game, but I want to like stream it. I have no idea how the hell I could do that bit.
Yeah.
Like if I emulate it, it's like I can use the touchscreen things, fine. I can use my headset as a microphone. I can use my mouse as a touchscreen. That's perfectly fine. But how the hell would I do that? I can't physically just shut my PC.
Would you not just close the game and turn it back on?
I don't know. I don't know if it'll work like that because I'm not sure what the exact technology is because it's not just like turning off the game. Because normally if you do that, the game power would still be on if you're doing it properly. So I've got absolutely no idea. So I haven't done it.
Well, if I was to list a pirate game, I'll tragically say I've not really played that many, but I have, because I knew what today's theme was going to be. I went out my way and had a look on the PS Plus store, and I picked up a pirate game just for you, Chris. And
Wait,
it's a little game by a game developer which I'm very, very fond of. And it's a little game called Pixel Pirates. And it's made by Relogic and another partner company. I can't remember the name of them. But it's basically the same team that made Terraria.
Oh,
One of my favorite games of all time. And it's jank.
is it Pixel Piracy?
Yeah, Pixel Piracy.
Yeah. Oh, you said Pixel Pirates. All right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I just call it Pixel Pirates just because piracy just makes it sound like pixels and you're trying to illegally down stuff. But yeah, so Pixel Piracy, it's basically it's like a somewhat open world sandbox looting game where you start off as a single captain on a ship. Well, basically, I say a ship. It's basically like a boat with like nothing else on there but apart from shit. You do the tutorial and you have like some gold, and what you have to do is like go onto different islands, recruit people to join your crew, and go to other islands, farm other islands for resources, level up your characters, skill up your characters, go like whatever resources you got, try build up your ship, go to another place, loot, go invade other pirates and whatnot. Oh yeah, just read here it's made by Relogic and 505 Games. As I said, it is very, very jank because you don't really have full control over what's going on. Like you've got control over your character, but what you have to do is like using like your right thumbstick, you've got to basically, or analog stick rather, you've got to basically tell your crew where to go and what to do, and they'll go do that. But once they've done that, you then need to tell them to do something else. You know, like somewhat like Command and Conquer style games. You've got to do that, but there are things on the map which you don't know what they are. But all of us, like, I was on like an island and I saw this barrel over there, and I was like, oh, I can go interact with this barrel. Maybe start hitting it and see what happens. I started attacking it and it fucking blew up and me and my crew died. I was like, well, fuck, now what do I do? So yeah, like I said, it's very, very jank. Can't really see much of what's going on. It doesn't really feel like there's like a goal in mind, but you know, it was free on PS Plus. I reckon if I probably played it a bit more and got more like sort of involved in it, maybe I might enjoy it more. But compared to like Terraria, it's just head over heels over this. It was like completely much better. But if you want like a little like pixel art pirate game, then yeah, play Pixel Piracy.
Fair enough. Well, I still don't want to get into my main game series yet because it will be like a massive chunk of the episode. But I do want to give some slight acknowledgements because there's a lot of games out there that have pirate themes in them, but aren't necessarily pirate games. So you got like Donkey Kong Country 2, which is pretty damn good. That starts off on a pirate ship, and it kind of has the theme throughout the game, but it isn't an actual pirate game.
King K. Rool, because he's like all dressed as a pirate, isn't that right?
Yeah, he is in the second one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, even the first game, you end up on the pirate ship as the last fight.
That's why I thought like it was like even in the first game you still had that, but yeah.
Yeah, but then in the third game he's like a mad professor, scientist. So.
And then he's like in like 64, he's like wearing boxing gloves and yeah.
That's correct.
Know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Continuity be damned.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also want to mention the best part for me of Kingdom Hearts 3 was the Pirates of the Caribbean world. That bit was great. Like it changed like the formula massively from like going around little like sandboxes to like a full on like sea like expedition, kind of like Wind Waker for a bit.
Was this in is this in Kingdom Hearts?
It's in Kingdom Hearts 3 specifically.
Yeah,
that's
why I was like, Sea Expedition. That's not Kingdom Hearts 2, but yeah, that's Kingdom Hearts 3. That makes sense. I've yet to play it because I'm a bit stubborn and want to finish some other Kingdom Hearts games, which I probably don't need to. But anyway,
as I say, it's the best part of the game for me. Like the whole place just looks really nice. All the water effects and like the sun glistening off it. It looks spot on. It looks really good.
What do you mean? I thought your best part of the game was that story in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Which story? Pick one. Which one?
The shit story. I'm kidding. The amazing written story. Anyway.
We'll get onto a full episode on Kingdom Hearts one day. It'll just be like 20 hours long.
And explain why. Anyway, this is going too far down. So, but I like the Pirates of the Caribbean world in Kingdom Hearts 2. I thought that was really good, and I like they managed to get voice actors that sounded, unless it is them, that sounded exactly like the actors. Unless it is them,
I think it's mostly different voice actors. I think one or two are the same ones, but I couldn't tell you which one. I'm not sure if it might be Jeffrey Rush of all people. He's still playing the Manny. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100%. But I think in like Kingdom Hearts 2, it looked a bit more jarring. But in Kingdom Hearts 3, the different graphical art styles play off each other a little bit better. There's a little less uncanniness going on.
Yeah, in Kingdom Hearts 2, it's a bit like, you got like the more realistic Jack Sparrow, and then you just have Sora, Donald, and Goofy. It just looks so out of place.
Yeah. Even because it's like PS2 graphics, like even the more realistic like people look like a can of spam. So.
They do. Not like the graphics for the Pirates of the Caribbean world in Kingdom Hearts 2 kind of looks a bit shit.
It's the one bit that doesn't hold up as well, because everything else is like cartoony, and the art style doesn't really age. That bit does.
Yeah.
I think it looked great back in the day.
Yeah.
For like a fortnight.
But now it looks kind of poo.
Yeah. But what they did in the third one, though, looks a hell of a lot better. I think they've made... I'm trying to think back of how it actually looks like off the top of my brain, and I don't think it looks quite as realistic. I think they've given the world a slightly more cartoony edge. Just a tad. I think it's more like in the shading and like the lighting details. But whatever they did, it looks a hell of a lot better. And it's the best part of the game. Right. I suppose if I'm going to talk about one game in slightly more detail, that isn't my main pick, it's one called Skies of Arcadia. Have you guys ever played that game?
No, I know of it. It's an anime game, I believe. I think.
Kind of. It's not based on any anime.
No. Just the style.
Yeah, just the style. So, Skies of Arcadia. It's slightly different to your average pirating adventure, because in this one you play as sky pirates. So it's your JRPG. I played this game on the Dreamcast initially, and then it got a re-release for the GameCube, and I never owned it. I ended up selling my Dreamcast, and I really wanted to get the GameCube remaster. Never got my hands on it, and it goes for ludicrous amounts of money now. It's stupidly expensive. So I think the last time I looked for a copy, it was like 250 quid plus. So I was like, yeah, I really wish I had this, because I really want to replay it. So Skies of Arcadia, it's a full-on RPG. It kind of plays like, I suppose, a bit like Final Fantasy X, if I have to put it to the closest approximation. But it is like its own thing. It's got like turn-based battles. It's got a sort of shared mana pool thing going on, where you sort of bide your time and unleash more powerful attacks, from what I remember. And I'm having to remember back about 20 years now. But I still remember it quite fondly, because I had such a good time with it. I remember the storyline being really good, the combat being fun. The music is great. I still got some of the music on it in my music library, which I still listen to. It's one of the first games I remember that does dynamic music, where the music changes during the same fight depending on how the fight goes. So the main boss theme itself has has its own section, but then it changes. It sounds more dire if you're doing really badly and going to die under 50% health. but then it gets more upbeat, and it feels like you're on the cusp of victory when you're doing better and they're on the ropes. So it really comes across as like, yeah, you've got him. Go on, just a few more hits, you've got this. It's yeah, it makes you feel great. It really does. But it's also not only has it got like your turn-based combat, it's also got ship combat, where you fly your little pirate ship around during combat, and that again plays like turn-based, but you kind of oh god, I'm trying to remember how this works. You fly around, so you can, but it's like you picked like whether to like fly in like the space of one turn. You choose whether to like fly north, fly east, south, west in that turn, and then you can attack as well. But depending on how your ship is, because you can like upgrade it and buy parts for it throughout the course of the adventure, kind of depends on what you can do. Like you could fire your cannons from the left, or you can fire them from the right. But you might be better off firing the ones from the right because you've got better cannons that side than you have on the left. And obviously the enemy ship, they play the same way as well. They like sort of fly around. They can like try and get away from you or try and get right up to you, depending on what attacks they've got as well. So you kind of like you're mostly trying to flank them, from what I remember. That's again, both combat systems really work well. They like if you like one, like chances are you're gonna like the other as well. They are pretty different, but at heart they are both turn-based combat. So yeah, it's really, really good, and I really, really wish I could replay it. I really wish it was made more available because it's such a good game. I'll replay it in a heartbeat. I'm just not paying like 250 quid for it, you know.
I thought
Desperately need.
I thought Skies of Arcadia was on multiple things other than Dreamcast. I thought
No, Dreamcast, and then it got a GameCube remake about 5 years later. That's it. It's never been re-released or anything.
Is it not?
Which is a shame because it is Sega produced.
Yeah, you say Dreamcast, GameCube.
That's it. That's your lot. To my knowledge, I don't think it's ever been ported again, and it desperately needs one because it's such a good game. If you really like games like Final Fantasy or like Dragon Quest, then yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I really want to replay it again. I miss it, sir. But yeah. Any more?
Slightly off topic, but I think I've just seen something really cursed on Steam. I'll send it.
Hell, well, I will look at my Steam library, but yeah, I can't really right now. But I don't know, I was just like thinking of like little moments of like I guess like with modern gaming, I guess we're the elephant in the room with, well, there's two pirate games with modern gaming. I guess our elephant in the rooms is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag and Sea of Thieves. I've played neither of them, but I know they are. I know Sea of Thieves now is well regarded. I know initially it wasn't, but
no, it bombed massively. Yeah. I know people were taking the piss because they put out all this merchandise before the game had even launched, like a ton of it. There were T-shirts and everywhere. It was everywhere in game for like a little while. Then it came out and just flopped so hard.
And my mate had it, but I don't know how much of it he played. I don't think he doesn't play it now. So, But when I met him, he had it. But like Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, I spoke about how I feel about number 3, and that's literally the reason why I've never played Black Flag. One of these days, maybe I should not be so stubborn and actually give Black Flag a try. But the back of my mind is like, you know why you didn't like Assassin's Creed 3? It's probably going to be the exact same thing in Assassin's Creed 4. So,
see, I think 4 split the fan base somewhat because, again, not played it, but so I finished Assassin's Creed 1 because I had nothing else to play. So I've finished it. Then I started playing the second one and played it for like probably about 6 hours all in all, and just gave up because I got terminally bored with it. And So yeah, never played 3 and never played 4. But from what I understand, people are like in two camps where they think like the pirate bits of Black Flag are the best bit. You're going around on your little boat singing these sea shanties, and then I think more of the people who enjoy like the main gameplay of Assassin's Creed hated it because it took away from the original core gameplay.
Yeah, like I don't know. I really like Revelations. I know the fan base is split on that, and I think they think like 2 and Brotherhood were better. I think for me, Revelations just took everything I loved about 2 and Brotherhood and just made it into a really nice package. And that, but then I'm just like a simple man, but who likes Revelations more than most people. But I remember going to Assassin's Creed 3, and it just changed so much, and even like the pirate bits in that just weren't fun. And I was like, well, when I heard like they were basically taking all the pirate bits and improving it in 4, I was like, I don't know, maybe one day. But ever since I completed Assassin's Creed 3, I've not touched an Assassin's Creed, which kind of tells you how much I dislike the series now. But part of me is like, maybe I should give it another chance. But then the other half of me is like, but when you did, you got upset. So do you want to be upset again? It's like,
yeah. Also, Ubisoft. That's enough to put me off.
Yeah, I know. Ubisoft is enough. They are not the best company.
Oh hell no.
Well, I was just while we were thinking on like pirate moments, I thought of a good pirate moment. Dark Souls 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the bay.
Yeah. I was just like, oh yeah. I forgot about that bit where you have to fight. I forgot what it's called. The boss in the pirate ship, and the water rises up.
Yeah, Flexile Sentry.
Yeah, and the water rising up.
Yes, ringing the bell and seeing the boat coming to shore from a distance is one of the better spectacles of the game.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, of all the areas in Dark Souls 2, I really like No Man's Wharf.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed it because it was just a really nice aesthetic to it. It felt... See, that sort of aesthetic is what I really enjoyed about Dark Souls 2, because compared to the other Dark Souls, I don't know why, but some areas of it just felt more modern rather than medieval chasing, if that makes sense. So like it was in a bit of a janky area though, because it was just after like the white citadel area, after like the Dragon Slayers. So it was just a sort of a bit out of place before you get to the Lost Bastille. But it was I enjoyed the area. Like it's probably like top few favorite areas of the game.
Well, you say what you want about Dark Souls 2. It's got some really really nice looking areas.
It really has. Like going to the Medulla, just looking out at the sea.
Yeah, and Hyde's Tower of Flame looks good as well.
It really, really did look nice, and as like you said, Chris, like just the moment you ring the bell and just see the ship. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
On my first gameplay, this time I played it, I didn't see the ship. I rang the bell and obviously wasn't having the camera facing towards it, so I completely missed what happened. Because I think I was under attack at the time, so I wasn't pointing that way. So I didn't see it at all. It's only when I turned the camera around a bit later, it's like, oh, there's a boat there now. Cool. Yeah. All right. Any more video game piratey stuff?
Well, there's one which I want to mention, but it's not one which I've played.
What's that?
And that's Sea of Thieves.
Well, see, I did mention it just now.
Yeah, I did.
Did I just space out? Too busy looking at stuff.
You did. Must have, because I literally just mentioned it.
I must have misheard you. Because I don't know what happened. I just completely... I think... Didn't this happen like a few episodes ago? I just completely forgot what you just said.
Yeah, this has happened several times now. We're starting to worry about you. You're going to talk about 4 again in a second, aren't you?
There's a reason why... There's a reason why on our... Here's an insight for the audience. On our podcast chat on Messenger... Chris and I just have normal names, and then Brandon is the only one who has a nickname, and it's just his name with monkey brains in the centre.
Does it? I can't see it. Where is it?
You're the only one who we put a nickname to.
I can't see it.
What?
You said that I thought you said on the actual chat that's his nickname. I
Oh
can't see a
no,
nickname.
wait. I say that Chris actually does have a name. Yeah, no, I'm the only one who doesn't have a nickname. You got Spanky/Chris, and it has Brandon Monkey Brains Molds, and then me. It's just me. There's nothing for me. We're gonna say that. So one of you's gonna change that by the end of this episode.
I would say if you want a reason why I've just forgot that you mentioned Sea of Thieves, just look what I put in the group chat.
Well, we need to change yours to Lord Spanky anyway. I'm gonna do that now for you. This is thrilling stuff for the podcast. We're changing people's messenger names. This is what everyone comes to us to hear. This thrilling conversation. Like I was like thinking of pirate stuff. Technically, the owlbear in Final Fantasy X are kind of owlbear for a little bit. They go around on their little boats.
Yeah. As I say, there's a lot of games that have like pirate elements to them, but not so many games just based on pirates. And those that are kind of
hit or
meh.
Miss. They are
Very hit or miss.
They are hit or miss. It's either really good or it's just like, yep, here's a turd.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know what the crowning achievement of that is. But again, it's a big topic, so I don't know if... Shall I just get it over with, or shall I save it for the end? As like a sort of closer? What do you reckon?
If you want to finish with it, with those games, shall we go into other like TV shows and other pieces of media with pirates?
Even though I think we should, because we've had a lot of games already back to back.
Have we mentioned Sea of Thieves?
No, we haven't.
I'm not sure. Anyway,
have we mentioned Skull and Bones?
I don't know if you're fucking with us on that or not.
Nah, I'm joking. I'm trolling.
That's what I thought. Well, if we're going about other pieces of media with pirates, I guess one of the most famous ones is Treasure Island. But the normal Treasure Island was not what I grew up with. I grew up with Muppet Treasure Island. That was a film I used to rewatch with my family so much as a kid. I rewatched it last year. Yes, last year, because when I was with my ex-girlfriend at the time, I mentioned it and she did not want to watch it, and so I had to watch it on my own, and I had an absolute blast.
You didn't want to watch it? No wonder she's your ex.
I'm saying nothing more about her, but I remember literally watching it and having an absolute well of a time reliving my childhood, and I can't wait to rewatch it again because it's such a fun film. And how can you not love it? It's got Tim Curry in it as Blackbeard. Is it? No, as Long John Silver.
Shiver my timbers, shiver my soul.
It's so good.
You know what? I only watched that for the first time about last year.
Oh, blasphemy.
I know. I just personally speaking, I never grew up with the Muppets. I just didn't. I watched like Sesame Street.
Yeah, I was the same.
Stuff like Muppets and Fraggle Rock. I didn't grow up with it.
Neither did I, really. But
I had a kick last year of like watching all the majority of the Muppet films. So, but yeah, Muppet Treasure Island is a delight though.
It's such a good film. It really does everything well, and like there's, you know how there's like things you quote still to this day after so many years. I still quote Muppet Treasure Island so much in my daily life, still to this day. I remember rewatching it last year. I was like, oh, I forgot I quote this all the time, and it's from this film. Oh, it's this quote. Oh, I say that all the time. Oh, it's this. I say it all the time. Like
Any ones in particular?
Like one of the things I say casually is boom. I normally, if someone does something good, I go, yeah, boom. But sometimes I go, boom shakalaka. And that is from Muppet Treasure Island.
I know you text that as well, don't you?
Yeah.
And now I know which voice to read it in.
Boom shakalaka. Well, it just has it just Muppet Treasure Island just manages to mix everything well together with the Muppet, the craziness, and sometimes like fourth wall breaking of the Muppets, with the classic tale of Treasure Island. It's just a great film.
I've got a slight tangent of this.
All right.
I find it funny though. So the actor comedian Billy Connolly is in Muppet Treasure Island.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. So and as part of his stand-up, he goes like, "Oh, it's not fair. Like I'm in so many films and I end up getting killed in all of them. I'm the only person to die in a Muppets film, for fuck's sake."
I'm looking at like pictures of Muppet Treasure Island, and I don't think I haven't seen this for years, like absolute years.
It's such a good film.
I was just going to say, do you think it's like the best of the Muppet films?
It's not.
I
don't think it's the best.
No, I was going to say, do you think it's
Christmas
best?
Carol is the best?
I don't know. It's a toss up between Christmas Carol and Treasure Island. For nostalgia, I'd probably go more for Treasure Island, but Christmas Carol is just as good.
I'd say for me, yeah, it's more than nostalgia because I grew up more with a Muppets Christmas Carol than I did Muppet Treasure Island. But also, there's just just the adventures of that's Sesame Street. Fucking ignore that extra comment I was about to make. But yeah, I'm more Muppets Christmas Carol. Fucking love it.
I'm going for Treasure Island because I'm a right Scrooge and I fucking hate Christmas. So it wins by default.
Well, there you go. What other pirate things have we watched, boys?
Obviously, I've recently rewatched all of the Pirates of the Caribbean in in support of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard stuff. So I was like backseating watching all the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff, and yeah, I completely had a blast watching this. Yeah, it got some parts where I wouldn't say much so like the sort of humor just started to get a bit weird like towards the end, like on the later films. But I think like the actual like character designs of like everything in Pirates of the Caribbean, it's fucking incredible. Like the idea of like Salazar from like I don't know what it was about Salazar, but I really just the way that he like the actual like animation of this character was just like it always looked like he was underwater. I thought it was phenomenal.
Salazar?
Yeah, in Pirates of the Caribbean, Salazar's Revenge.
Oh, I've not watched that film. That's why I was like,
yeah.
Who is that?
Yeah, he's like a Spanish captain who got sunk.
Yeah, I've only watched the first 4. I think that's the only one I've not watched. And even on Stranger Ties, I think it was just because it was on TV, and I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I think Stranger Ties was one of the weirder ones, I'd say. It was just, I don't know, it just didn't really feel like it had much of a place, whereas Salazar's Revenge, I thought was a nice, sort of encompassing more of the lore of piracy, like going for like the spear of, like the trident of Poseidon and stuff like that. But I still feel like there's a lot of like pirate lore and like mythology, which I still feel like there's like a gap for Pirates of the Caribbean to, obviously, I don't know what they're going to do regarding Johnny Depp, but if they were to pursue it forwards, like there's tons of stuff which I'd like to be able to see, like, because I mean, like in terms of like pirate mythology, how much do you guys know?
Bits and pieces.
Not loads.
I feel like everyone knows about, I mean, we've got like the Kraken, obviously. I'd like to be able to see more films based around the Kraken and like the history of the Kraken. I think that would be great.
You know what? That was the biggest, like, I suppose, tease or disappointment. How the second one ends with like the big Kraken, and the third one it just went into like a white void and was being weird.
Yeah,
it was, like,
it was a bit weird.
Where's my giant Kraken fight? Come on.
Yeah, it was a bit weird.
Yeah,
I
I feel robbed.
Because I mean, similar to like on topic of pirates, like in Pinocchio, when Pinocchio's on like the sea, and especially not the actual animated version, but on the first live action one.
Yeah.
The one where Pinocchio's out on the sea, and you just see that area, like that bird's eye view of Monstro as the shadow underneath Pinocchio's boat. Like, I imagine seeing something like that, but it's a fucking Kraken. I fucking shit myself. Like, if thalassophobia is not worse enough, like, imagine seeing a bloody Kraken underneath you.
You know what this means, don't you?
What?
Disney really need to make their version of Subnautica.
Oh, mate, that would be so good.
You're just swimming along, and then suddenly Ursula just like flies towards you at like Mach 4. Isn't it? No, I say for me, the Pirates film, I really, really like the first one. The first one's fantastic, and then it's like just a case of diminishing returns.
Yeah.
like Stranger Tides. That was the first spin-off one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the fourth
yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
one with
fourth one.
Blackbeard.
See, I've seen that. I know I've seen it. I have no memory of it. I think it was just white noise when I was watching it. I was like watching
it
it
was
and
a very
actually checking it.
anticlimactic ending, really. Very anticlimactic.
Yeah, I just don't remember any of it at all. I know I've watched it.
I mean, it's like you've got Blackbeard. He's like the fucking Chad of the sea, but he just sort of dies pathetically.
It's a bit of anticlimax, just like the Kraken. Then it's like, it's full of really good like things that could go really well, and then just drops the ball. Well, cannonball, I suppose, every time.
Yeah,
it's
which is why I really like the Salazar one, because it did feel like somewhat of a threat. And also like Davy Jones, I feel like Pirates of the Caribbean like 2 and 3 with Davy Jones were,
you know what,
actually had a decent ending.
Yeah, going back to Kingdom Hearts 2 very briefly. I find it funny that the first Pirates of the Caribbean film has like the best plot, and yet in Kingdom Hearts 2 they summarize the whole plot in like 10 minutes. Yet they can do that plot in 10 minutes, but they can't do their own without needing a fucking thesis and like 80 hours to spare. Like, come on, you can get that down to 10 minutes. How can you not do your own? Come on. Tangent's over. Yeah, good films. Are we all in agreement that the first one's the best one?
Oh yeah, and like hands down, it's the only one I've got on DVD. The other three or other four, like nah. I did really like the third one when I watched it, but I've only seen it once, so.
I think the ending itself is fine, like how it wraps up. I think is all right for the plot it had. I think it ended well, and Bill Nighy as the villain was pretty good as well. The CGI I think still holds up on his character. I haven't watched it for a while, but I'm pretty sure it still holds up quite well.
Wait, Bill Nighy.
Bill Nighy.
Wait, he's in Pirates of the Caribbean.
He's in, 2 and 3. He's Davy Jones. Is that his name?
Oh right, okay. I think I'm getting confused with something else. All right, yeah.
He's not in Hot Fuzz, but he is in Shaun of the Dead. Unlike your mate's uncle. Oh no, wait, he is in Hot Fuzz. He probably knows your mate's uncle. He's in it at the beginning. Strange connections. On Stranger Tides.
Well, what other pirates have we got? I know I've got one, but what about you, Brandon? Anything?
I'm just really thinking, because like I feel like there's so much sort of untapped potential within like pirate-based like stuff. Like, I mean, I could, rather than going like for your traditional pirates, I guess I could count the anime Vinland Saga as pirates.
Oh, yes. So good.
Well, they're Vikings rather than pirates, but they're basically just Scandinavian pirates, which is basically what Vikings are.
Yeah, they were. The Danes were basically pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and Vinland Saga was great.
You've also got the Ravagers from Guardians of the Galaxy. They're just space pirates.
They're space pirates.
Yeah. I was like, are the space pirates in Metroid basically pirates? But then I think they're. Yeah, I don't think they are.
They call themselves space pirates, and Ridley's
but I don't know.
It's a bit of a stretch. You never see him actually do any pirating. It's more just standing in corridors and shooting at you. So I don't know. Well,
I spoke about it a couple episodes ago with its latest arc, which actually ended the other week properly. It wasn't actually when I spoke about it. But One Piece, and you know, it's like one of the longest running manga series ever, and it's for good reason. It just has the like, when you think of pirates, you think of like the sense of adventure and freedom, and that is definitely a feeling you get when you're reading One Piece. You get this feeling that you're on this long adventure, and you know, although it's called One Piece and we're trying to find the One Piece, to a certain degree, I kind of don't really care what the One Piece is. I'm not.
It's just a MacGuffin,
yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Like we're gonna find out what the One Piece is before the series end, and it's gonna relate to like the final war in the series. But what the One Piece is doesn't really interest me. I love the lore of the world and the characters and the sense of adventure, and it's that just every week I'm just looking forward to what's going to come next, what new characters are going to appear, what new locales the crew are going to go to next, and it's just that sense of adventure. So I was just going to pick I was trying to think my favorite moments, but then I was like, I don't know if any of them feel like pirate moments, because I don't know, because as much as I love, I think this is one thing I've noticed in reading One Piece in recent years. As much as I love One Piece, some when you think of pirate moments, sometimes there's not loads of those classic pirate moments you would think of, like a battle between ships. There's not loads of that in it, which is kind of a bit of a downer. But there's one bit like that in one of the later arcs called Whole Cake Island, where they're the Straw Hat Pirates, who are the main crew. They're trying to escape an island, and they've got a whole load of ships following them, and they're firing cannons and then fighting loads of people. And that's quite a nice moment with a sea battle that's happening. But because it's so wacky and weird and fun, there's just not really traditional pirate moments sometimes. There is, but there also isn't, because it's a Japanese shonen manga and it has to conform to the shonen formula. But there's this there is always these great sense of camaraderie with the crew, and not just the main crew, with loads of the different pirate crews in the manga. A lot of them have this sense of family and camaraderie, and I feel like that's a genuine thing with pirates. Even take Pirates of the Caribbean and I'm going to forget his name. What's the main villain in the first part? In Curse of the Black Pearl? Oh, I've forgotten his name.
Oh, Jeffrey Rush. Oh, he couldn't even Jeffrey Rush. What's his fucking name? The naughty man.
I literally forgotten his name, but the crew of the Black Pearl, despite everything, they do feel like comrades. They are, although he is commanding them, they're all tied together with this curse, so they all have this connection and this camaraderie, and it's things like that that is to me feels like a staple of, I guess, pirates. And I know it's mutiny and what plank and whatever, but I think the sense of your pirate crew is like a family is a great thing to see in pirate media, I think, as well as the
Captain Barbosa.
Captain Barbosa, there you go. As well as the mutinies. The mutinies are always fun, and you can just leave Johnny Depp with a hot woman on a deserted island just with rum.
Why is the rum always gone?
Oh, why is the rum always gone? Because I drink it
I'm
when I'm drunk.
Because I've drunk it all.
Because
I don't drink. You can have it.
Callum's come and taken it. But I'm just one of my even the ships in One Piece, they have a connection. There's in the first half of One Piece they have the main crew have two ships, and when they say goodbye to their first ship, it's a very powerful moment. I don't want to say much more what happens, but when I first saw that scene, I did shed a tear. It was very emotional, and it just goes to show why a character like Captain Jack Sparrow would want the Black Pearl. It means a lot to him. It's why the Straw Hats in One Piece love both their ships and what those ships mean to them. I would say on One Piece, it is a great pirate manga, and there are so many pirate moments, but because of what it is, it just does so much other stuff. Like there's arcs that are like all political. There's like an arc that's all about a marriage, and it does anything and everything, and that's one of the reasons why I love One Piece and why the sense of adventure and why they're pirates is just amazing. But yeah.
Neat. And yet they call it One Piece, even though it's got more than one episode, so the title is a lie.
But it's for the One Piece.
To all them all. And that's the ring, isn't it?
Yeah. We're not talking about the Rings of Power until you two start watching it.
I will watch it tonight.
Look forward to that, future listeners.
Well, there are pirates in Lord of the Rings, though.
The Army of the Dead.
Yes, they came on pirate ships. and then Gimli made a best man win.
I was gonna say, because don't you think like the Army of the Dead, they were ridiculously overpowered in Lord of the Rings. As soon as they turned up, it was just a slaughter fest.
Well, then they weren't. They're not pirates. It's the Easterlings. The Easterlings had the pirate ships, weren't it? Was it Easterlings?
I don't know what they were, but either way, they were basically pirates.
Yeah, I think it was the Easterlings or whatever faction it is, and they stole it from them. They were the pirates in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, another slight tangent.
Oh, here we go.
While we're on the subject, because I don't know when else we're going to say this. You know, like everyone moans about the eagles in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, here we go.
Not many people seem to moan about the Army of the Undead. Like every time we watch it, my dad points out, how come they don't keep the Army of the Dead around until they've like invaded Mordor? And it's like,
I don't know. I remember.
I can never give him a straight answer.
I remember that like now I don't care, but I remember one time when I was watching it, I was like, when the Army of the Dead comes, all that battle just becomes boring because the Army of the Dead just sweep the field and just kill all the orcs, and it's just like, oh, now the combats are all done, yay! But now I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
I thought that scene was fucking cool.
No, I did.
All steady boys attacking them.
I did.
And then Viggo Mortensen just goes, "Oh, you can go now." It's like, no, you fool! It's not done yet. Got plenty more battles to come yet. You could just sit back and have a cup of tea and just let the Ghost Boys do it. They can't die.
Well,
yeah.
Have you got anything else? Otherwise, we'll get into your last game.
Right, I'll briefly mention one series that I started but haven't finished. So I can't really give a full review, but I'll acknowledge it anyway. So have you guys heard the series Our Flag Means Death?
Yes.
No.
No. Yes. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna have to pretend you both said no.
Oh, it's done by Taika Waititi, I think.
That is correct. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got a few familiar faces in it. Most notably, Rhys Darby, New Zealand comedian.
Probably know him if I've seen him.
From Flight of the Conchords, and he's in What We Do in the Shadows as well.
It's exactly the person I think I thought.
Yeah. Yeah. And a cameo in Guns Akimbo as well, which made me laugh my arse off. So he's the main character as such. Taika Waititi's in it, but he's not in it for a few episodes, and but I don't really want to say much more without spoiling anything. I can't really spoil it anyway because I haven't seen it all yet. So. But yeah, apparently it's based on some truth because the character of Rhys Darby, he's like the captain of his pirate ship. Except he's brought up from like a sort of noblish background, and he's not a ruffian at all. And apparently he's like the gentleman pirate, which apparently is completely real. So you see his crew, and all his crew are a little rough around the edges, but even they acknowledge they're not the best crew, and they're not all that bloodthirsty and murderous either. So everyone on there is kind of impersonating being a pirate in some regard. One other character is in it who I quite like, and it took me forever to pinpoint who it was, because they're all under. Well, some of them are under a bit more heavy makeup than others. But if I say the name Ewan Brennan, do you know who that is?
I recognise it.
If I say the name Spud from Train Spotting.
I've not even seen Train Spotting. I don't watch anything, mate.
You haven't seen Train Spotting?
I don't watch anything really.
Train Spotting?
Spud.
Oh, Spud. Yeah.
It's quite distinguishable.
Oh, Brandon, you should watch Train Spotting.
Train Spotting is amazing.
Oh, it's amazing.
Trainspotting was one of those films that I seen like when I was in high school,
Yeah.
and I showed it to all of my friends because obviously we weren't old enough to see it at the cinemas then, but I had it on DVD. So I invited like so many people around my house to say, let's watch Trainspotting because you can't watch it normally. So yeah, I got a soft spot for that. Even the sequel, Trainspotting 2, which came out like 20 years later, is fantastic. I was expecting it to be awful, and it's not. It's really good. It's really, really good. So yeah, check them both out. Not piratey at all, but definitely worth watching. But yeah, back to Our Flag Means Death. Yes, so I'm not sure what more I can say about it. I say I'll go back to it, and I ain't got much more to say.
Spoilers.
Yeah, it's okay. None of it's like made me laugh out loud, but I only found out that it's like based on a bit of truth before going into this podcast. Like, I watched like the episodes, and then I found out apparently this person's real. I was like, oh, okay, that lends a bit more weight to it, because you think, oh, it's a little bit absurdist otherwise, but apparently it happened to a degree. So I'm gonna stick with it. As I say, it's a comedy. Personally, it hasn't made me laugh much, but I think I'm more for it for the characters at the moment, just to see where it goes. So I can't give it a hearty recommendation yet, but we'll see how we square off as I watch it a bit more. But so far, yeah, it is all right.
Well, I do want to watch it at some point, but life and everything else.
Yeah, life gets in the way. All right, are there any more piratey topics?
I don't believe so, unless we just fizzle out with little things. But please, you've been holding it long enough. Unleash the floodgates.
Well, I might have to. You might have to put me on mute then for 5 seconds before it. Oh wait! Oh no! All right. Of course, I've been holding it in forever, and that is because it's the best pirate memory game. Pop-up Pirate. Remember that old board game you used to put plastic together? Fucking great, isn't it? It's way better than Buckaroo. Buckaroo's fine, but the pieces go everywhere. Pop-up Pirate, it's just one piece. You just put it back in. It's so much easier to clean up. It's better than Buckaroo.
Knives, you just love pushing them in to that pirate.
Yes, but we're talking about the board game, Dan, not real life. Please stop stabbing people.
Isn't it? If you think about it, sort of like more sinister. It's literally like an Iron Maiden, but for a pirate.
Yep.
Like you've got a pirate stuck in a barrel, and you're basically just stabbing things into it until he jumps out.
By the way, there is actually one more thing I need to talk about before we get into the topic.
Is it pirate memory games from Little Britain?
No. This is not a game. This is not a TV show.
Is it a band, Ailstorm?
It is a band. It is Ailstorm.
I sort of knew where you were headed. I thought you would.
Oh, I have 2 things I can say about them, but you go first.
Oh, you're not a fan of them, are you?
I'm not.
I just remember you're not a fan.
I really don't like Ailstorm. Like, they used to get played a lot at like the local heavy metal place, and I couldn't stand it. Anyway, like several weeks later, I was hanging around with like the lead singer, me and my cousin. He's like, and I put it on social media. He's like, yeah, you know that band I hate? Well, I'm with the lead singer, not saying hi on photos. It just happens. But go on.
Oh no, just saying. I really like Ailstorm. I think they probably peaked at like album 4. In my opinion, maybe other people say different, but I think from album 5, 6, and 7 have just felt like the same thing and formula again. But I don't know. Especially album 6 and 7, they literally feel like the same copy and paste. But I still enjoy all 7 albums. I feel like the first 4 just have this more heavier feel. And then from album 5, they go more going, far more jokey. Not like that they weren't prior, but no, I like all their pirate songs. I like some of like the earlier songs are just like. They just do generally bring off this nice pirate feel, like you're listening to a pirate crew making music. But I can understand why they're not everyone's taste.
Yeah,
they're really nice as like a novelty music, like just to have on, like if you're seshing or whatever. But but I don't feel like they're going to be like. They don't really feel like something which I could just commit like an hour, like hours of my time to just listen to.
I don't think the racism helps.
No.
I don't actually pay attention to the lyrics. I just go with the beeps and the boops.
Oh, I've just put a link in the Discord of a lovely review from Metal Hammer of Ailstorm's last
the latest
album.
one. Yep.
Have you read it?
Yep.
It's so scathing.
I know. It's terrible.
As a closer, the review says, no matter how god awful it is, like COVID-19 and Piers Morgan, it looks like we're going to have to live with this shit for a while longer. That's a review of the album. It's so bad. I never liked it anyway, and they're just doing the same stuff. Oh, and the misogyny and racism is rampant as well. Not on the album, just in general. But yeah, it's always nice when I see a band like Ailstorm, which I never liked, and then there's like some controversy around them. And it's like, yeah, I knew there was something about them I didn't like. Oh dear. Yeah, not a fan. Hailstorm, on the other hand, who aren't piratey, are great. I really like Hailstorm. So much better. Just add the H.
No comment.
No comment? Fine. I've seen them several times and they're really good.
I've seen them a few times and they are good live.
Mm-hmm.
I think... I say no comment. I think my problem with a lot of bands is I feel like I've went through that I've seen them I've been through... I got really into them up to their peak, and then loads of people have got into them after I feel like they've dropped off and they've got bigger, and I don't think what they've made, the certain bands have made since, is as good as the stuff when I got into them was. But then people like rave it on about them, and I'm like, these earlier albums were better. But anyway, yeah, that's just for so many bands.
Mm-hmm.
Ailstorm and Hailstorm are kind of both in that group, funny enough.
Mm.
But like the early Hailstorm albums are great, but they're not pirate themed. So
They are not.
Come on, Chris.
Do you know what else is pirate themed though?
What is it?
Oh.
Do you remember the viral song which came out, the sea shanty?
Oh, the Wellerman.
The Wellerman, yeah, I fucking love that song. When like the TikTok went round for that, I thought it was fucking brilliant. Like the amount of times it gets stuck in my head, like even now, like sometimes I just go around going, there once was a ship that put to sea. Like I just keep like, it just repeat, ever since I heard it, just repeatedly gets stuck in my head. And I just, whenever I go through a period where it's in my head, I can't fucking get it out. Unless it's just me, I don't know.
Maybe. Are we ready, Chris? Come on, let's just lay it down now.
Give us all the pirates.
Fine. The undisputed champion of pirate games, and I'm sorry if you disagree.
Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, sorry.
That's right. This Square Enix game. Yeah, that was pretty good. It genuinely was actually. No. Fine. We are going to talk about a Mr. Guybrush Threepwood. Oh yes, in Monkey Island. Love Monkey Island. Takes me back to my childhood. My first introduction to Monkey Island was when it first came out, and what we used to do back in the day when we were wee nippers is my parents would play Monkey Island on the computer, and me and my sister would all gather around while we were playing Monkey Island, and because there was like no internet back then, you couldn't check anything. We were just trying to solve the game between us all. We were just like saying, "Have you tried using this with this?" And just trying to get through the game between us all. And we had a right blast doing it. The writing in order, well, specifically the first 3 Monkey Island games are so tight. It's so funny. I kind of wish the older games like initially had voice acting, because the voice acting in like the remasters and that is spot on. I really like it all. But yes, Guybrush Threepwood, who wants to be a mighty pirate. He can hold his breath for 10 minutes. He's also a bit crap at being a pirate. Because there's some speculation that he like also came from like a, I suppose like our flag means death. There was like some speculation that he came from a wealthy family as well and broke away. That's why he wanted to be a pirate. But that's pure fan theory. Yes, the first Monkey Island game, produced by LucasArts, who are no longer with us, which is a shame because they made the best point and click games going. Not only Monkey Island, but like Day of the Tentacle. You had Full Throttle as well. You had the Indiana Jones games, all point and click games, all great. Every single one was fantastic. Yes, in Monkey Island, say you play as Guybrush Threepwood, who has a silly name. The name Guybrush came from a file, like it was like a like you got your documents, like your JPEG and your PNG. Well, in this instance, it was like a dot brush, and the I can't remember the exact circumstances. But anyway, they named Guybrush just after like the file name and Threepwood. And one of the best running jokes, and it's so simple, is throughout the game, because of his name, people keep getting his name wrong, like the entire time throughout the entire series. It's like, hello, Mr. Freepsneed. Hello, Mr. Sneeptud. Just little things, but I just find it funny. If I have to pick a favourite Monkey Island game, it would be the third one. Because the third one is, graphically speaking, very different to the first two. Because the first two are mostly pixel art. And yet the third one is like it's like animated, it's more cartoony. But I think it really works for it. And also the third one is when he introduced the voice acting into it. And for me, my favourite one is there's one character called Haggis McMutton.
That's a very piratey Scottish sounding thing.
He's a Scottish pirate, have you know. But he's voiced by Alan Young. If you don't know who Alan Young is, that is the voice actor for Scrooge McDuck.
I didn't recognise the name.
Yeah, and it's the exact same voice he uses for this character, and it just fits like a glove. And there's no... It's one of the great pleasures in life to hear the name Guybrush Threepwood being said by Alan Young. It's like all your childhood combined into one sentence somehow. Yeah. So the games are known for a bit of meta humor, like because it's like LucasArts, they put in a fair few Star Wars references as well, like here and there, and other licenses. Like in the third one, there's a bit where there's just like a skeleton at a dinner table, and he looks exactly like the character Grim Fandango. And he's even learned a name badge that says, "Ask me about Grim Fandango." It's just Easter eggs like that. Even the first game is like, there's a character that says, "Oh, ask me about Loom," which is another game they made. Like, so tongue-in-cheek, but still funny. And yeah, I've played these games so many times. I can, for point-and-click puzzle games, I can play certainly the first three back-to-back without like just knowing the puzzles like the back of my hand. I can just pick it up and play it. Just go through it like dead quickly. Which is a shame because I always want a bit more when I revisit them. But once you know the puzzles, you know the puzzles. And none of them are bullshit. Like all of them like kind of make sense. There's a tiny bit of what they call dub moon logic. The term moon logic is a well-known phrase that's in all point-and-click games where it's dub moon logic because you've got to be like off this planet to like understand why the puzzle of the solution to the puzzle is what it is, because it doesn't make any fucking sense. It's like, what? You do what with what? Eh? How does that work? But yeah, but Monkey Island keeps that to a minimum. With the first game, there's one joke in particular. Well, not so much a joke, but we have a family have made it a joke. There's one puzzle where you have to like carry acid from like one place to another, and you use a cup to hold it in, but the acid eats through the cup before you can get to this location. And we were stuck for ages as a family trying to work out how to do it. Anyway, the solution is really simple, but it's something that in the game you hadn't done to that point. And the answer is you pick up several cups, not just one. You pick up multiple of them. So it's like pick up cup, pick up another cup, pick up another cup, which you wouldn't normally do because like once you picked up an item, that's it. But there's like several of them dotted around, so you pick up all of them. And then in order to get there, and it really does sound so obvious, but you walk out for a few paces, then use mug with mug, and then do a few more paces, then do it again. You do it several times before you get to your destination. And that took us forever to work out. I know it sounds so simple, but it drove us nuts. The rest of the game we got through, like, no problem. It's just that puzzle, and we'll remember it till the end of our days. It's like just use the same item repeatedly. Like, oh, God. Yeah, let's see what I was going to talk about. The villain's cool. LeChuck, or the dreaded ghost pirate LeChuck, which I know Captain Barbossa is ripping off LeChuck, let's be fair. In fact, we're on about Pirates of the Caribbean. Supposedly, Pirates of the Caribbean was initially meant to be a Monkey Island film. And during development, it changed to be about the Disney ride instead. But there were certain nods in there. There is a couple of lines in the final product that have been lifted from the games. But I'm not going to tell you what they are because, for the life of me, I can't remember what they are. But they are there.
You need to remember.
I can't. No. All right. There's one bit where I think it's the second. No, I think it's the first one where they use a dog to escape from a prison cell, like using a bone because he's got the keys on him. That puzzle is lifted directly from Monkey Island 2. It plays out exactly the same. So there you go. There's a reference. I'd say the biggest sticking point for fans of Monkey Island is the ending to the second one, because the ending to the second one's completely weird, and it like comes out of left field and doesn't tie in with the tone of anything else. It's like, what the hell's happening? What the fuck's this got to do with anything else? I know later on throughout the series they sort of retcon it, and the third one goes to great lengths to explain what happens between the second and the third one. Because the third one you're back to like being a pirate again, but as like you were before the ending of the second one. And yeah, it's a little weird, but there is a section right near the end of the game where you can talk to the villain, and there is like no less than like 20 minutes of recorded dialogue. If should you choose to go through it, like choose all the dialogue options to like explain what happened. And but the best line from that though is when you start asking the big questions, the villain just goes, "Oh, shut up! We're not talking about it. I'm bored now." So you never get a direct answer. But honestly, if you've never played the Monkey Island games, oh man, the first 3 are fantastic. And the reason I say the first 3 is because at the moment there's 5 games in the series, and there's very soon going to be a new one out, which I'm not sure about. It's still produced by Tim Schafer, who did the original ones, who also did Double Fine, as you may know, for doing Psychonauts and Brutal Legend as well. Brutal Legend's writing is very much like Monkey Island as well. There's a lot of the same humour going on in there. But the new art style, I can't say I'm a huge fan of it. I want to like it. The new one kind of looks like Guacamelee, which is quite different to how the first couple of Monkey Island games looked. But then again, the third one was like a radical departure. And then the fourth one went 3D because it was from PlayStation 2, the fourth one. And unfortunately, I can't really talk that much about the fourth one because I never finished it. I started playing it, but I didn't really like it. The gameplay had changed massively. It was still like a point and click, but not in like the traditional sense. There was more of a reliance on like mini games, and in fact, one so much is just infinite. It's like Monkey Combat. And if you look at like a full playthrough of Monkey Island 4, which takes about 5 hours all in all, if you know exactly what you're doing, I'm not joking. There's about 2.5 hours of it. It's just this one mini game that just goes on forever.
Bloody hell.
I know, it takes the absolute piss. Yeah, I never got that far. I don't think my younger brain could hack it. I think, again, there was more reliance on dumb logic and actual straightforward puzzles. Honestly, there's so much attention to detail to jokes in like the original 3 games, and like running jokes as well, because there are some recurring characters. So yeah, it's tightly paced. It's like the Marvel films of its day, where they reference each other. Man, hey, if they've got the multiverse, there's no reason why they can't put Guybrush Threepwood in it. In the Marvel films. It needs to happen. Andy Chuck is the bad guy. I want to see that. So, I know we got the Pirates of the Caribbean film, but I still would love to see the Monkey Island film, for sure. But
so you can hear the classic line, "You fight like a cow."
how appropriate. You fight like a dairy farm.
Was it fight you?
Is the way around.
Yeah, I knew I said it wrong, didn't I? I knew I
Yeah,
did.
got it backwards. So yeah. Oh, the sword combat is great because in Monkey Island you don't just fight with swords, you fight with insults, and in the third one they have to rhyme. So, but yeah, you fight like a dairy farmer. How appropriate! You fight like a cow. I've seen that on T-shirts. I've seen people wear it, and I swear when I point it out, they're always surprised because I'm like the only one that's noticed it. But like my favorite joke in the entire franchise is from the third one. So picture the scene. You're going to a place called Skull Island. You're on a ferry. You go there, and it's like a big mountain, and the camera slowly pans up as the person that's taking you there goes, "Welcome to Skull Island," and as it pans up, you'll find the rocks are carved into the shape of a duck.
Oh, things.
Yeah, and it's got the lightning strike to go with it as well. Everything. And Guybrush just goes, "That's a duck." It's like, "No, it's not. It's a skull." "No, that's a duck." It's like, "Well, if you squint your eyes and turn your head slightly," it's like, "No, if you do that, then it looks like a rabbit." But, the build up to it's great. It's one of those things that you just burst out laughing when you see it. Especially because I've mentioned it so many times, like beforehand in the game. It's like, "Oh, Skull Island, Skull Island. That's a duck." It's one of those things you don't expect. But yeah, the whole game's full of them. Oh, and there's another part again from the third one. I can't have mentioned this as well. Sorry. There's a bit so in all the LucasArts point and click games, you can't die in them. There's like no fail safe or anything like that. But there's a part in the third game where you have to fake your death, and you do so. And two of the characters that you were talking to, like you're like passed out on the floor, like supposedly dead, and they go, "Oh, it looks like he's died," and the other character goes, "Ah, that's weird. I didn't think you could die in LucasArts games." And the other one's going, "Well, maybe they're trying something new." Anyway, but then to set it up, it fades to black, and then it fades back in again, and you're in a crypt in like a coffin, and the guy was just like, "Hey, get me out of here." And then credits start rolling up slowly. It's like the Curse of Monkey Island, which is it's like your score was 0 out of 7,000. Guy was just banging on his coffin. It's like, "Cut it out," and then like the music just cuts out, and like the credits just like drop straight back down to the bottom of the screen. It's like, it's like I'm still alive. Again, it's like fourth wall breaking, but it's really funny. It's completely unexpected, and that's just another reason why I love the Monkey Island games. They're genuinely funny, and the gameplay is great. All the characters are fun, especially like recurring ones, especially like the Chuck and say Guybrush and Elaine. But oh man, it's such good games. And I haven't played the fifth one, but the fifth one is called Tales of Monkey Island, and I believe they play like the Tales from the Borderlands and Walking Dead. So I haven't actually played them myself. I'll get around to it one day. But I believe the new one that's coming out is going back to its roots and like is a proper point and click adventure. So we'll see. I'm excited for that in a weird way. I don't like the graphic art style, but I'm looking forward to playing it nonetheless.
Oh, there you go. Piratey
Indeed.
goodness.
Very, very piratey goodness.
Very, 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 very piratey goodness.
Very, very, very. There's no punchline to this. It doesn't even make sense, piratey goodness. Fuck it. I've got nothing better.
We struck gold. Oh my god, my voice broke as I said that. I was about to say we just struck gold with this one. We found the buried treasure of the pirate topic.
What, One Piece?
We found the One Piece.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, I suppose there's not really any sort of pirate treasure which can necessarily top that, apart from rum. We found the rum.
So guys, shall I do my pirate quiz again? No, I'm kidding.
I'll say, if you did the pirate quiz again, I reckon I'll still say the same answers as last time.
I literally just remembered. I'm like, oh yeah, I did that pirate quiz. That would have been really good for this episode. But
You know what we could have done? Because we said the word ship so many times, we could have played a fun game where we like interchange the word ship and shit because it's so easy to mishear it. and play a drinking game at home. Like every time you hear us mispronounce it, take a shot.
Wait,
Bit late now. But
wait, there is a P on the end of it, right?
yes.
Oh, I've been saying ship my whole life.
Well, ship.
Oh shit, fuck.
You can't fuck a ship. Well, maybe you can.
People find it
I'm sure there's plenty of Rule 34 for it.
I was going to say a Polish word, but then I was like, no, I'll leave it. I'll just say English words.
Udvar. Is that what you were going to say?
It was the one I told you while we were in Wales.
I can't remember what it was.
You can tell us now. You can't leave us hanging.
This is what my friend who is with a Polish girl told me. I think it's a curse word where they say fatuma.
Whatever that means.
I can't remember. There is another one that's even worse. But anyway, we'll move away from that. But I think, unless there's anything else, I think that might be it.
We'll just apologise now to any Polish listeners for anyone we've just offended.
I'll just cut it out. I don't know. As always, you can follow us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And that's where we all are. Yeah, you can follow us free on our social medias. Like those two will be streaming on Twitch. Both their Instagrams, my Instagram. All the links are in the description of every episode. And give us a rating on whatever you listen to. 5 stars on Spotify, please.
We'll make you walk the plank, you landlubber.
Or call for mutiny.
That too.
Yeah. And
did we mention Sea of Thieves?
No.
You know, Brandon. It's the way you say it, and it just sounds like you're like really. You say it really concerned.
I actually feel bad because, like, obviously we said we had spoke about it, but it sounded like you had something else to say about it. Did you want to add to it?
All I was going to say is, like, I've never played it, so I don't know what happened to me. I was going to be like, in terms of like all the pirate games which have been released, like, what would you say is like the one which most like closely resembles like the pirate style? Because I think at the moment it has to be Sea of Thieves.
I guess at the moment, but I'm still going to stick with my beloved Monkey Island. I'll
Yeah,
play it again.
I wonder what Skull and Bones will bring, even though you shat on Ubisoft earlier.
Well, it is Ubisoft, and they deserve to be shat on.
Yeah. Well, you will hear us again in 2 weeks. Be safe.
I'm off to kill or something.
With a bottle of rum and a yo-ho-ho.
Indeed. Well, you'll hear us in 2 weeks. Be safe out there. I will be I've got my Scotland trip next week, so I'll be going up to some unfamiliar lands and exploring. These two will be streaming, and you'll hear us soon. Be safe.
Can you pop a flag in my land, please?
If I can find it, yeah. If I got time, I might be able to actually, for just shits and giggles. If you really wanted me to,
I do, and then I want you to put it on social media.
For fuck's sake. Well, we'll see. It ain't gonna be. It'll have to be near the end of the week when I'm around Perth.
I'm not timing it, so do it whatever you want. You scurvy dog.
Well, bye.
Bye. Bye. Yeah.
Bye, you land lovers.
Yeah. I've got nothing else.